What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about Bronny James because he has gotten probably more criticism, more just hate than any player I think I've ever seen, right? For a 55th pick in the draft, most guys don't even talk about them. And Bronny James gets crucified like he's supposed to be a superstar right out the gate. But he has been balling out in the G League. I mean, he has been fantastic and is just continuing to improve and continuing to be better. He was just the player of the game, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. This guy he's looked every bit the part of an NBA player, right? Or developing. Now, look, he's not right. He's not a guy that, slot him into the rotation, right? He's ready to go. It's nothing like that, right? He is still very much a development guy. He still very much needs, probably a year or two to really start making his way to the main roster. But he's 20 years old. He is a kid. I mean, our first round pick is 3 years, almost 4 years older than Bronny James is, right? Like, what does Bronny look like year 2, 3, 4, right? When he is 21, 2, 23, 24, right? Like, he has so much room for growth, potential, development. And so far this season in the G League, again, got to keep it in perspective. This isn't the NBA, it's the G League. But he's averaging 27 minutes per game, 13.4 points. He is averaging from 3-point range, still needs a lot of work on that, but 21% on just under 5 attempts per game. Shooting 36.6% from the field total on 14.4 attempts. Free throws, 67% on 1.7 attempts, but still needs to work on that. He's given you 4 rebounds as well as 4 assists, or 3.5 rebounds and 4 assists, 3.1 turnovers. So again, must work on taking care of the basketball. 1.1 steals, a block. And again, he's showing you all the things you want to see. The defense, the versatility, right? Being able to be that point of attack, right? Him being able to score the basketball, all of that. He is LeBron's son. So he is always going to constantly be scrutinized and criticized and be under a spotlight, unlike any player that we've probably ever seen. I mean, he already is. People still look for every opportunity to just negatively talk about this guy, and I don't get it. I understand, okay, you hate LeBron or, whatever, why are you hating on the 50? If this was any other pick, we'd be hyping him up right now like he's, the second coming. Right? Quincy Olivari had an excellent start and has cooled off in the G League, but we're all talking about him and talking about how great he is. Now Bronny James is the guy that's been on a hot streak, and Bronny James has been the guy that's been fantastic, and everyone's still hating on him. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Right? Not everyone has to be a superstar. Not everyone, Bronny James doesn't need to be his dad. If he's a more athletic Gabe Vincent, that's perfect, right? If he can just be that 3-and-D style guy, I mean, he's got he's listed as 6'3", 210, right? So if he could just be that athletic, versatile, apply some rim pressure, point of attack, backup to point guard, right? Play the 2 guard on spots, right? Perfect. He doesn't have to be a superstar, especially the 55th pick in the draft at 20 years old, right? At least guys like Austin Reeves, stuff like that. He was Austin Reeves was 23 when he came in the league, undrafted. What does Bronny look like 3 years from now? Not to mention the circumstances that kind of halted his career a little bit. I mean, the fact that he's even out on the basketball court is impressive. Right? If that was anybody else, people would be making every type of excuse in the world for him. But because it's LeBron's son, people want to hate. So I'm here to talk positive about him because I do think he has a ton of potential. I do think he has a ton of upside. If any other 55th pick was performing, if his name was not Bronny James, if his name was Johnny Brames, right? Everyone would be like, man, for the 55th pick, Lakers got an absolute steal. Look at what he's doing in the G League right now, right? But no, because he's LeBron's son, everyone's like, oh, just whatever. It's silly to me. It is. It's really silly to me because he's only going to continue to improve. He's only going to continue to get better. He's only going to continue to figure it out and understand the game more and more, right? Like, again, he's a development guy, and he should be. He's 20 years old and was the 55th pick. Only, 3 other guys were drafted ahead of him? Right? Like, and he's looking every bit like the NBA player we want to see. Does he need to work on pretty much everything? Sure, of course. But what 55th pick in the league doesn't? Most 55th picks are out of the league by year 2. And look, I'm not saying that, Bronny's untouchable or anything. Like, I don't know. Bronny might not be anything. Bronny might end up getting to the league and just end up fizzling out at some point, which should be expected for the 55th pick, right? Like, if we're being honest, that should be expected. But if he can just be a serviceable rotation piece, again, not everyone has to be a superstar. You need the dirty work guys. You need the hustle players. You need the guys that can go out there and are willing to sacrifice their body and, rebound and defend and be that point of attack and chase down loose balls. Right? Bronny James, even if he's just that guy, like I said, if he could just be, a more athletic George Hill or Avery Bradley or, again, these type of guys, right? Gabe Vincent, right? If that's all he is, it's all he ever becomes, that's fine, right? We'd all love a more athletic Gabe Vincent. Now, there have been talks about, Markelle Fultz and, Dennis Smith Jr. Like, oh man, we should, like, Dennis Smith Jr. would be a cheaper, Gabe Vincent, right? Well, if Bronny James can become that, I'm not saying this season, I'm not talking about right now, but I'm talking about, 3 years from now. If he is your backup point guard, that's huge. You got it with the 55th pick in the draft. That is massive. Now, if he could be your starting point guard and take care of the basketball and be your point of attack and shoot the 3 ball with any level of consistency, right? Like, if he could be a 12, 4, and 6 guy, but just absolute clamps on the defensive side. Not a superstar, not an all-star, nothing. Just an excellent role player that comes in and does the dirty work, defends at a high level, can hit the occasional 3, right? To where teams have to respect it, stuff like that. Like, why wouldn't you want that on your team? Every team in the league would want somebody like that on their team. So if Bronny can evolve and become that, and he's looking every bit of the part. Again, we need to put it in perspective. It's the G League. He hasn't been ultra efficient or anything like that. Like, it's a process. He's got a long way to go. He's got a lot of development. That's fine. What does he look like year 2, year 3, year 4? I don't know. I think it's a safe bet that he's going to end up being at least a rotation player at some point, whether it's with the Lakers or somebody else, right? I do. I think Bronny James is really going to come to, he's starting to figure some stuff out. He's playing with confidence. He's got a little bit of swagger to him, right? Like, he's starting to get a little more praise. All the noise and the negativity is starting to dissipate a little bit. Step in your own. Keep developing. Keep working hard. I mean, the work ethic's there. The athleticism's there. All the tools are there. You just got to put it together. You just got to figure it out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think Bronny has been absolute ballin', been very impressive in the G League? Again, I don't understand all the hate for him. I don't understand all the criticism for him. It's just so silly, in my opinion. I mean, like I said, if this was anyone else, any other 55th pick, there would not be the criticism. There would not be the hate. There would not. There's no way. You haven't heard this about any other second-round pick that the Lakers have drafted. Nothing. You haven't heard this about none of it, right? Even bust that Lakers have drafted. you don't hear nothing about it. But Bronny James, because it's LeBron's son, it's so silly to me. It really is. But look, I think he's going to develop into a solid, bare minimum rotation piece. I'm not saying a superstar or an all-star or anything like that. Again, not everyone has to be a superstar. You also need guys that can fill in, 2 through 15, right? So if he could be anywhere in that range, that would just be beautiful for the Lakers and really kind of put the Lakers in great shape for the future. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. That was my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. So again, let me know. Either way, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. We enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.